Hello and welcome to Cutting Words. I'm Brad Thompson and today we've got the Warlock to look at from the Player's Handbook Playtest 5 where there are at least 5 classes to look at. We've done the Fighter, we've done the Barbarian and we've done the Sorcerer. Now we've got the Warlock and following that we'll have the Wizard. This is all available on dndbeyond.com. Without further ado, let's get it up and get stuck in. Alright, we have the One D&D Warlock. Or 5-year revised, or whatever we're calling it now. Here we are, the new Warlock playtest. Obviously, everything's subject to change. Alright, so it's part of the Mage group. They've grouped a bunch of things together, called a group. So that Mage group consists of the Warlock, the Sorcerer, and the Wizard. Now the change here, straight away, primary ability score is either Intelligence, Wisdom, or Charisma. Warlock is no longer just a Charisma caster, you can choose. Which I think will make things a bit more interesting for, you know, story things that happens where, oopsie daisy, I made a Warlock pact partway through a campaign, you want to multi-class into Warlock. I've got a lot more flexibility there. You don't have to be a Charisma class for that. Anyone can accidentally make a pact. A Warlock pact now. Wonderful. Alright. So, another big change you'll see straight away. A lot of changes to the Warlock. A lot of changes. The pack magic's gone. They're now half caster, so they have the same spell slot progression as, say, a paladin or ranger. So they're a half caster. So they've they're not getting those not getting spell levels at the same rate as they did before. They've got the full caster rate. A little kind of asterisk, a little caveat, as it's not quite the case. This table is a little deceiving. So the spell slots do progress that way, like a paladin ranger, like a half caster, like an artificer even, but they also get the Eldritch invocations, which allow them to get some spell slots of higher level in there, which we'll look at a little bit later in class. But yeah, some big changes afoot. Short rest spell slots no longer a thing. All right, a lot of changes here with class features, but we'll go through them as we get to them in more detail. Right, about now. So, in the Warlock, still D8 hit die. Still on the low side. D8 hit die is pretty low for a half caster. You'd think, all the other half casters are D10s. Yeah, Artificer, Ranger, and the Paladin are all D10s. So, I feel like that could be brought up to D10, especially when we have Blade Lock. Help you with your survivability there. A D8 hit die is not something you particularly want when you're on the front line, especially if you're the only one frontlining. Oh dear. I've certainly done that with a Hexblade. Hexblades are good, but not enough hit points to be the frontliner by yourself. Anyway. Hit points, yeah, I guess that's just cover that there. So still got the Wisdom, Charisma, saving throws there. Still got the Arcana, Deception, History, Intimidation, Investigation, Nature, and Religion skills. I don't think anything's changed there. Some weapons. Now, big change here, armor tree. Now you get light armor. Well, light armor is already had, but medium armor, that's a new one there. Again, you had to be a Hexblade Warlock to get the medium armor training. Now you get that base, you get that in there, which is great. Really helps because, man, you don't want to be light armor in the front line. So that's very annoying. So that's a nice step up there. No shield though, noteworthy. No shield. So you can wear medium armor, but you can't hold a shield. You go elsewhere for that. Which is interesting that they left that off. Alright, I guess it clashes with the traditional Warlock look. Otherwise all Warlocks, no matter what, will just carry on a shield, because why would you not? Yeah. Find out, look elsewhere to pick that up. Alright, so equipment, basic stuff. Multiclassing, well, it's now hitting at least 13 in the primary ability score you chose when you picked your Warlock class, Intelligence, Wisdom, or Charisma. So very flexible class to splash in there now. It's very interesting. It's kind of good as well, because we were very overflowing with Charisma classes. You had the Sorcerer, you had your Paladin, you had your Bard, of course. So we really need a Warlock in there too. Alright. First of all, Packed Boon. So right out of the gate, they change things around because obviously they're lining all the subclasses up, so you don't get your subclass till 3rd level, just like every other class now. But instead, though, at 1st level, you do have a choice. They brought was previously the 3rd level feature to the front, where you get your Packed Boon, where you get to choose Pactal Blade, Chain, or Tome. No Talisman. Didn't make it through the player's handbook. Probably for the best. Alright. So you formed a pact with the Outerworld entity. Bestow magical powers upon you. You always have the Eldritch Blast and Hex spells prepared, so at level 1 you always just have those. And those spells have also changed when you scroll up to those in a hot sec. Yep, it's another case of got a lot of class only spells. Just like with the Sorcerer, who watched that video. You just do a lot of scrolling to the spell page to look up what those actually do. There's big changes there. And you choose one of the following boons: Pact of the Blade, Pact of the Chain, or Pact of the Tome. Each of which is detailed below. You determine the identity of the entity and choose its plane of existence, such as the Feywild, the Shadowfell, or an outer plane. Each boon gives you a choice for the spell casting ability used by your spell casting feature, and it gives you a pact spell that you always have prepared. Alright, so we've got Pact of the Blade. If you pick that one, you get to be Wisdom or Charisma. No intelligence for you. And you get that pact spell, Pact Weapon, which is basically that class feature, but now turned into a spell and adjusted a little bit. They've done a lot of turning class features into cantrips for some reason. I don't know why. Sure. We'll look at that in a sec. See me scrolling. We're going to do a bunch of these in one hit. Pact of the Chain, get spellcasting ability, intelligence, or charisma. So no, it can't be wise and have a pet. No. And you get the pact spell, Pact Familiar, and Pact of the Tome. Spellcasting ability is intelligence or wisdom. Can't be charismatic with a tome. How dare you? Pact spells is Book of Shadows. Now, it seems a bit arbitrary how they just kind of excluded one for each of these. Like, I feel like we just made a choice. Anything like it seems just it's arbitrarily limited it for no real reason at all. So I'm not sure why they bothered doing that. Either restricted to one, like this one's wisdom, this one's intelligence, this one's charisma, kind of thing, or have them just all free reign. Just randomly excluding one seems just very arbitrary. Just arbitrarily remove one. So I'm not sure why they did that. Anywho. Alright. And you get your spell casting kicks in. So you get your cantrips, which will be which you don't have to pick out Blast because you already got it, so you can choose other things like Chill Touch or whatever. And yeah, when you gain Warlock level, you replace one of these spells with another one. Pretty standard Warlock stuff. There. Alright. So before we go any further, I think we should go up now and look at these spells. I've got Eldritch Blast, Hex, Pact Weapon, Pact Familiar, and Book of Shadows to look at for your starting level 1 spells there. Alright, Eldritch Blast. Classic cantrip. Very splashable cantrip, at least previously. Alright, so Evocation cantrip, Warlock only. Action cast 120 feet. Automatic, instantaneous, nothing really new there apart from being limited to just Warlock per se. A beam of crackling energy streaks toward a creature within range. Make a ranged spell attack against the target. On a hit, the target takes 1d10 force damage. Cantrip upgrade. The spell creates more than one beam when you reach higher Warlock levels. 2 beams at 5th level, 3 beams at 11th level. And 4 beams at 17. You can direct the beams at the same target or at different ones. Make a separate attack roll for each beam. So massive. That one there being is now restricted to only levels up in Warlock levels. So you do stick with Warlock if you want your Eldritch Blast to scale up before it's scaled up. Actually, overall, levels, not specifically Warlock levels. So made it so you can pick up the spell quite easily with level Warlock or what have you, and off you go. You can now have the full firepower capabilities of a high level Warlock just by picking up this cantrip with level 1. especially if you pick up the Invocation level 2, level 2 Warlock with a bunch of other class levels or something else is same power output as a full Warlock that is of the same level. So it was a bit ridiculous. So they've now plugged that hole, as it were. Alright, that's Eldritch Blast. Next is Hex. So the other spell you get, you always know. So Hex, first level enchantment spell, Warlock, bonus action to cast, 90 feet range, builds medic, concentration up to an hour. There's a curse on a creature that you can see within range. Until the spell ends, you can deal an extra 1d6 necrotic damage to the target when you hit it with an attack roll. You can deal this extra damage only once per turn. So before every attack roll. Now it's just kept at 1, which is a massive nerf. Ouch. You can deal this extra damage only once per turn. Also choose one of the 6 abilities whenever you cast the spell. The target has disadvantage on ability checks made with the chosen ability. Cool. Standard there. If the target drops to 0 hit points before the spell ends, you can use a bonus action on a subsequent turn of yours to curse a new creature. Same there. A remove curse spell cast on the target ends the spell early. At high levels, when you cast a spell using a spell slot of 3rd or 4th level, you can maintain your concentration on the spell for up to 8 hours, and the extra damage increases to 2d6. When you use the spell slot of 5th level or higher, you can maintain your concentration on that spell for up to 24 hours, and the extra damage increases to 3d6. Then we get spell slots of those levels. Who's bothering casting Hex? You got better things to do, especially if it's only going to work on one of your attacks, one of your Eldritch Blast beams or what have you. It's not going to do it to all the beams, which is very, very disappointing. Hex is still fine for like early level because you get one beam anyway, at least you do 6 damage. But high level, you got better things to do. It's just not doing enough. And I'm not sure the disadvantage on ability checks is going to be that helpful anymore because they've been changing around the grapple rules constantly. And last I checked, it was still a saving throw, so this is not going to help with that because really it was disadvantage on strength checks in order to succeed on grapples or push them over or whatever. And that's no longer a thing. So, yeah. 4 Hex. Alright. On to next spell. Alright. Packed Weapon. Conjuration cantrip with a Warlock. Action, self. 24-hour duration. Tracing arcane sigils. In the air, you conjure a simple or martial melee weapon of your choice in your outstretched hand. Or you create a bond with a magic weapon you touch. The weapon you conjure or touch must lack the heavy property, and the spell fails if you touch a magic item that is attuned to someone else. For the duration, the weapon grants you the following benefits. Eldritch Warrior. When you attack with a weapon, you can use your spellcasting ability modifier for the attack and damage rolls instead of using strength or dexterity. Huge. Suddenly we're all Hexblades now. Yeah. It's about time. Now all blade locks are valid and viable as opposed to, I guess, Hexblade then. So that's nice to see. I wonder what they'll do with Hexblade now. Or whether they'll just cut that subclass altogether. Anyway. Proficiency. You have proficiency with the weapon. Woohoo! Returning weapon. If the weapon has the thrown property, the weapon returns to your hand immediately after hitting or missing a target. Bizarre. So you can have a, packed weapon, boomerang, or dagger or something. Javelin? I don't know. You throw it and it comes back and you can keep throwing it. Woohoo! The spell ends early if you cast a spell again or die. When it ends, a conjured weapon disappears. Or your bond with a magic weapon stops. Ugh. So if you're a Warlock with the packed weapon, you die in combat, you get revivified back, you want to rejoin the fight. Oh wait, I'm no longer packed weaponed with my weapon here. Crap. I guess not proficient. My neg strength or whatever isn't gonna help me now because I can't use my charisma now to fight. Shit. I guess it is only an action to cast. But yeah, still annoying. Oh. The price for power. Oh, also, a cantrip upgrade. So there's an extra caveat to this cantrip. When you reach 5th level as a Warlock, you gain the extra attack feature for the conjured or magic weapon only. With the feature, you can attack twice with the weapon instead of once when you make the attack action on your turn. So it's now, before it was an invocation you had to take if you want multi-attack, now you just get it for free. Huzzah! There's never enough invocations, never enough spell slots before. There was a complaint, so they gave us more spell slots in the form of long rest spell slots and lower level ones, making them half caster, and giving invocations by putting them into these cantrips. This is one way to go. Alright, Pact Familiar. Conjuration Cantrip Warlock. Casting time 1 hour. Range 10 feet. Fills magic components. Instantaneous duration. You summon an unearthly entity to serve you. It manifests in an unoccupied space of your choice within range. This creature uses the Pact Familiar stat block, so which is different to the Find Familiar stat block. You know, this is a completely different feature to a Find Familiar spell. So in theory, you could actually use Find Familiar and Pact Familiar. Have 2 familiars. Anyway, if you already had the familiar from the spell, that familiar transforms into a new one, but retains its memories. You don't get a second Pact Familiar. When you cast a spell, choose the familiar's creature type: Aberration, Flump or Knot of Tentacles, Celestial, Owl, Raven or other bird, Dragon, Pseudo-Dragon or similar dragonette, Fae, Pixie or Sprite, Fiend, Imp or Closet, or Undead, Shadow or Skull. This choice affects familiar's default appearance, as noted in the parentheses, and determines certain traits in its stat block. You can alter details of the creature's appearance each time you summon it. Combat. The familiar is an ally to you and your companions, and it obeys you. In combat, it shares your initiative count, but it takes its turn immediately after yours. On its turn, the familiar takes the dodge action and uses its move to avoid danger, unless you use your reaction to command it to attack instead. Disappearance of the familiar. The familiar disappears if it drops to 0 hit points, if you dismiss it as a bonus action, or if you die. When it disappears, it leaves behind anything it was wearing or carrying. If you cast a spell again, you decide whether you summon the familiar that disappeared or a different one. Remote viewing as a magic action. Magic action, you know. You can see what your familiar sees and hear what it hears until the end of your next turn. Cantrip upgrade. Starting when you reach 5th level as a warlock, you can communicate telepathically with your familiar as long as you two are on the same plane of existence. Additionally, while perceiving through your familiar senses, you can also speak through your familiar in your own voice. So it's another invocation they've built into a cantrip there to save you an invocation slot. Alright, so Pact Familiar is the stat block here. So Tiny Aberration, Celestial, Dragon, Fae, Fiend, or Undead. Choose when casting a spell, any alignment. I'll cast a 10 plus your spellcasting ability modifier, so that'll go up to, you know, potentially 15, I guess. I guess high if you go through, you know, reading magic books or epic feats, you know what I mean. Probably 15. At points 5 plus your warlock level, the familiar has number of dice d4 equal to your warlock level. Okay, so you get quite high. Actually, wait, plus your warlock level. Oh, not 5 per level, it's just 5 plus your warlock level. Okay, so max 25. So not much. Speed 40 feet and fly 40 with hover. Strength 3. No. Dex 14, Con 12, and 10, Wisdom 14, and 8. Charisma. Immune to Charmed and Exhaustion. Senses 120 foot. Dark Vision. Passive Perception 12. Telepathy 120 feet. Only between you and the familiar. See proficiency bonus equals your bonus. Sure. Eldritch Bond. You can add your proficiency bonus to any ability check or saving throw that familiar makes. Oh, that's nice. To any ability. Okay. That's nice. Okay. I'm trained in all things. Actions. Eldritch Strike. Melee spell attack. Your spell attack modified to hit. Reach 5 foot. So right in there. On one target hit 2 plus half your warlock level rounded down damage or type determined by the familiar's creature type. Aberration, Acid, Celestial, Radiant, Dragon, Fire, Fae, Psychic, Fiend, Poison, or Undead, Necrotic. Invisibility, the familiar has invisible condition until the end of its next turn. It does an action as well. And that's it. Well, alright. Bit of a downgrade, isn't it? Because before you had quite a few different options there based on the stat block. And now it's very generic. Very generic indeed. Okay. I was saying a bit more actually, so a bit more oomph. Like each type had a special ability or something. No, not so much. Okay. And finally, we have Book of Shadows. Conjuration cantrip for the Warlock. Casting time 1 hour. Range self. Verbal somatic components. Instantaneous duration. Stitching together the strands of shadow, you conjure forth a book in your hand. The book contains eldritch magic that only you can access, granting you the following benefits. Cantrips and rituals. When the book appears, choose 2 cantrips and choose 2 first level spells. It has ritual tag. The spells can be from the arcane, divine, or primal spell lists, and they must be spells you don't already have prepared. While the book is on your person, you have chosen spells prepared. You can use the book as a spellcasting focus. The book disappears if you cast the spell again or die. When you reach 5th level as a Warlock, the spell also enhances other cantrips. While the book is on your person, you add your Warlock spellcasting ability modifier to the damage rolls of any cantrip you cast that doesn't already have that modifier added to its damage roll. Long way of saying, have Agonizing Blast for free, so you can add your casting modifier, your Charisma or whatever, to the Eldritch Blast beams. But if you already got Agonizing Blast, you can't get this. So this is instead of, but it does the same thing. So have a free amazing invocation. Nice. If you die, the book disappears, and if you're using it as your spellcasting focus, oh dear, get revived. And hold on, guys, give me an hour if I can cast the spell again. It's very annoying. Also, let's see, when the book appears, choose 2 cantrips. So you get 2 wildcard cantrips of your choice, and choose 2 first level spells at the ritual tag. Spells can be arcane, divine, primal spell list. Must be spells you don't already know if prepared. Or books in your person, you have those spells prepared. Alright. And so each time you summon this book, you can choose 2 different cantrips and 2 different first level ritual tag spells if you so desire to have prepared today. Or at least with an hour's notice. Because you can recast over a short rest or what have you. Okay, so some flexibility there. Not as open as the original Book of Shadows where, you know, you just fill it up with all the ritual tags and have all of them ready to go in your book. Much like an evil wizard of some kind. Now you just choose 2 each time you do this. And they have to be on your first level. We do get the Agonizing Blast invocation free. That's something. And you can use it on other cantrips too if you want. But why would you? The beams. The beams. Right. So let's change there. Back to the actual class. Lost spells. At 2nd level, you get your Eldritch Invocations. In your study of occult lore, you have Unearth Eldritch Invocations, Fragments of Forbidden Knowledge. They imbue you with an abiding magical ability or other lessons. You gain 2 Eldritch Invocations of your choice from the Eldritch Invocation Options section. Later in this class description, you can't pick the same invocation more than once unless the invocation description says otherwise. If an invocation has a prerequisite, you must meet it to learn that invocation, and you can learn that invocation at the same time that you meet its prerequisites. For example, if an invocation requires you be on 5th level Warlock, you can select the invocation when you reach 5th level in this class. When you gain certain Warlock levels, you gain more invocations of your choice as shown in the invocations column on the Warlock table. Additionally, when you gain a Warlock level, you can choose one invocation you know and replace it with another invocation for which you qualify, or if the invocation such as Mystic Arcana involved a choice, you can replace the invocation with itself, but make a different choice. Alright. 3rd level, subclass, which will be the Fiend. Back to the Fiend here, which we'll look at a little bit later, at the end. Your feat 4. At 5th level, you get your Eldritch Invocation. You gain another Eldritch Invocation of your choice, of which you qualify. 6th level, subclass feature, you gain a feature from your Warlock subclass. 6th level, you get, 7th level, Eldritch Invocation again. 8th level, your feat. 9th level, Invocation again. 10th level, subclass feature. 11th level. So it's different. Contact Patron. In the past, you've usually contacted your patron through intermediaries. Now you can communicate directly. You always had the Contact Other Plane spell prepared. With this feature, you can cast a spell without spending a spell slot to contact your patron, and you automatically succeed on the spell's saving throw. Once you cast a spell with a feature, you can't do so again until you finish a long rest. So finally, at whopping 11th level, you can phone your patron up, ask some questions, or get missions and all this stuff. I think it's too late. I think you should call your patron, invoke them in a way that, if the patron's displeased with you or busy, they can say, nah, not today. But still have the option for players to try and contact their patron at a lower level, a bit earlier there. And maybe you can level up to patron looking more favorably to you to answer questions a little bit later. But early on, I think there should be avenues for that. Yeah, because I feel like the DMs are just going to house rule and do what they want with this, with the Warlock, giving them plot and stuff with it from their patron earlier. Because level was just too late. I mean, that's what people have been doing with Warlocks anyway until now, because they didn't have an option for contacting their patron at all in the current first edition Warlock, and Dungeon Masters had to just be creative and make up new ways for the player to do that. Really, play a Warlock. What about chat to your patron? What? Anyway. So that is that. Also, at 11th level, you get yet another Eldritch Invocation. At 12th level, get another feat. 13th level, oh look, another invocation. 14th level, subclass feature. 15th level, Eldritch Invocation. It's a very modular class, isn't it? 16th level, feat. 18th level, Hex Master. Oh, okay. You have mastered the dread application of hexes, allowing you to cast a hex spell without spending a spell slot. What? Shit. That crappy spell that was only good at low level, now I can cast it for free. And use my concentration on that. At 18th level, I got better things to do. 18th level, I can cast Wish. I can cast a whole bunch of crazy stuff. What am I doing? Mucking around with Hex at 18th level. What on earth? Just give me no invocation. I'd rather have bland old another invocation slot. Look at that. Feat invocation, feat invocation. Just give me that. What's this about? Go away. 19th level, feat. At 20th level, epic boon. So increase step by 2 and get that epic boon. This one recommends Boon of the Night Spirit. You can pick whatever you like. Alright. Now speaking of Eldritch Invocations, let's look at those. So we have the classic, the mandatory Agonizing Blast. No prerequisite. Whenever you cast Eldritch Blast, you can add your spellcasting ability modifier to the spell's damage rolls. It was good before, and it's still good now, because it adds to every beam, unlike Hex and other various features have popped up in this One D&D Playtest for other classes and stuff too, when they limit damage, extra bonus damage to 1 instance per turn. What? Alright, but no, Agonized Blast still fixes every beam, thank goodness. Amorous Shadows, you can cast a mage armor on yourself without spending a spell slot or using material components. Why would you bother when we've got medium armor now, but sure. Ascendant Step, or 9th level Warlock or higher. You can cast Levitate on yourself without spending a spell slot or using material components. I've never ever heard of anyone ever picking this before. But hey. Yeah. I still don't know now if anyone would, but sure. There we go. Beast Speech. You can cast Speak with Animals without spending a spell slot. Devil Sight. No prerequisites. You can see normally in darkness, both magical and non-magical, to a distance of 120 feet. Yeah. Don't know why it's throwing. And you've got dark vision as well, just remove any ambiguity there. I'm guessing the both magical and non-magical is kind of their way of saying, yeah, you got dark vision as well. Yeah, anyway. Eldritch Sight. Prerequisites none. You can cast Detect Magic without spending a spell slot. Quite nifty. Eldritch Spear. When you cast Eldritch Blast, its range is now 300 feet. For those times you're having those range combats 300 feet away. Here we go. Okay. Oh, this is a Runekeeper. You can read all writing. This ability doesn't decode secret messages in a text. You read the surface meaning and must rely on other capabilities to decode something. So they've added the clarification text there because before it was just you can read all writing. Full stop. They've just kind of added text here to go, no, you can't actually like decode things though. You can read the writing and understand the words, but the meaning behind it, you just need to figure that out. Fair enough. Favor of the Chain Master, 9th level Warlock or higher, Pact of the Chain feature. Your bond with the familiar summoned by your Pact Familiar spell grows more powerful. Whenever this familiar hits with its Eldritch Strike, the target experiences the following effect associated with the familiar's creature type. Oh, here we go. So this is where we get the custom abilities, is it? Or the familiar. Only now you truly understand at 9th level. Jeez. Alright. It's quite late. Aberration, yes, slowing slime. The target speed is reduced by 15 feet till the end of your next turn, and during that turn, it can't take the dash or disengage actions. Ooh, this is pretty good actually. No save or anything, just your half speed now, and you can't dash, and good luck. It's pretty good. Also, in theory, you can stack with other things for reduced speed, because there's a few other things in One D&D that reduce speed quite a bit. So yeah, just stay where you are. Celestial Guiding Light. Next attack roll against the target before the end of your next turn has advantage, and if the target has a visible condition, that condition is suppressed for the duration. Yeah, it's quite good too. Especially Guiding Bolt, little effect there. Cool. It's really good. Dragon, Draconic Might. If the target is medium or smaller, it has the prone condition. Oh, just knock people prone. No save. I hit you. You're prone now. Awesome. Okay. Sure. I mean, sucks if you're like one of the Eldritch Blast or something. Ugh, that's annoying. But if you go much melees, perfect. A Beguiling Sting. The target has the charm condition until the end of your next turn, and perceives both you and the familiar as the charmer. It's charm condition until the end of its next turn. Yeah. So it's friendly to you. Your pet there. Fiend, Unearthly Toxin. The target has the poison condition until the end of your next turn. So we see disadvantage on things. Undead Whispers of the Grave. The target has the frightening condition until the end of your next turn. You choose whether the target is frightened of you or the familiar. So it's disadvantage on things and it can't approach you. But if the immune to frightening condition won't do anything. So yeah. So the poison condition, I guess, with the friendly Unearthly Toxin. Yeah, the one that just makes them prone though is pretty good. Pretty good. As long as you don't want to Eldritch Blast them, but normally Flea goes after you, so it should be okay. They should have stood up by the end. It's half movement stand up, which is basically what the Slowing Slime's doing. So yeah, I think Pet Dragons might be the winner here. The card prone condition does a lot of work here. It does Guiding Light for you, it does the Slowing Slime for you, and it does yeah, it does those. It's a little bit of grave. Yeah, it does most things. Man, prone condition's so good. Anyway. Next we have Fiendish Vigor. Proves it none. You can cast False Life on yourself without spending a spell slot or using material components. Gaze of Two Minds, level Warlock or higher required here. You can use a bonus action to touch a willing humanoid and perceive through its senses until the end of your next turn. As long as the creature is on the same plane of existence as you, you can use a bonus action on subsequent turns to maintain its concentration, extending the duration until the end of your next turn. While perceiving through the other creature's senses, you benefit from any special senses possessed by that creature, and you can cast spells as if you were in your space or the other creature's space. So a bit of a bump to Gaze of Two Minds there. It wasn't very good before. Now it's a bit better. Cast spells through them. Yeah. Cool. Gift of the Protectors. Proofs at 9th level Warlock or higher. Pact of the Tome feature. A new page appears in your Book of Shadows. When you conjure it, with your permission, a creature can use its action to write its name on that page, which can contain a number of names equal to your proficiency bonus. When any creature whose name is on the page is reduced to 0 hit points but not killed outright, the creature magically drops to 1 hit point instead. Once the magic is triggered, no creature can benefit from it until you finish a long rest. As a magic action, you can erase a name on the page by touching it. So yeah, so that's been brought over from Tasha's. It's a cool little feature there for the Tome Warlock. Sign here, please. Hexer. Proofs at none. You can cast a Hex. You can cast Hex. Its range is 600 feet and you have advantage on any concentration saving throw you make to maintain your concentration on the spell. Shame Hex isn't very good now. 600 feet. Who's casting something at 600 feet? What are you doing? What games are running in that kind of distances there? What's going on? Is it a Spelljammer? You're like spaceships far away from each other, waiting to close, get blasting? I don't know. Lessons of the first ones. You have received knowledge from an elder entity of the multiverse, allowing you to gain 1 feat of your choice, such as skilled, that is available to first level characters that lacks prerequisites. I don't think he was picking skilled. I could get some skills, or I could pick one of these other amazing feats. Granted, that'd be first level feats, but what was it? It was alert. It was not bad. It was like, wasn't like a lucky, and there's like, there's the magic initiate one. It's pretty good. Get the armor efficiencies. If you remember, pick that shield now. Yeah, there's a bunch of them. So, okay. Yeah, I don't think anyone's picking skill. But sure. This is the first ones. Perfect. Thanks, first ones. Another feat. Man, human warlock. Level 2. How many feats do you have now? I have 3 level 1 feats. Alright then. Perfect. Okay. Life Drinker. Prerequisite 9th level warlock or higher. Pact of the Blade feature. When you hit a creature with the weapon of your pact weapon spell, the creature takes an extra 1d6 necrotic damage. In addition, the first time you do necrotic damage with this invocation on each of your turns, you regain a number of hit points equal to the necrotic damage dealt. Pretty sure it's been nerfed. It is now just the extra d6 damage. I think it was fixed your casting modifier before in damage, if I'm remembering right. So there you get like a little bonus hex thing going on your attacks. So it's yeah, it's every attack though, but only multi-attack. I guess you could polar master it or what have you. But yeah, extra d6 on each hit. Right. Better than nothing, but yeah, I think it's been limited a bit there. Mask of Many Faces. Prerequisite none. You can cast a Sky Self spell, without spending a spell slot. Very fun. I do enjoy Mask of Many Faces as a very fun roleplay ability. Most of the time, if you know the spell, just how many times can you cast Sky Self in a day? Like, you just have the spell, not use the invocation here. Especially since you've access to Arcane spell list and this is on it, so you can just pick that up now. Just disguise self spell and use a spell slot, and use your invocations elsewhere. Because honestly, is anyone ever cast Sky Self more than say twice in a day? You know, do you really need infinite casting of this? Anyway, Master of Myriad Forms, 15th level warlock or higher feature. You can cast Alter Self without spending a spell slot. Whoop-de-doo, day at 15th level, who cares? Level 2 spell that requires concentration to do like a slightly more advanced version of Disguise Self. Alright. Don't know why it's such high level. They're scared of its power? I mean, changelings can do that better from level 0. Okay. Misty Visions. Prerequisite none. You can cast Silent Image without spending a spell slot or using material components, and they're a very fun one. All the illusions, all the time. Misty Visions can be a lot of fun there. Yeah. Fake doors, fake bridges, fake barrels to hide behind, fake everything, fake monsters, all that stuff. Silent Image, a lot of fun. Mystic Arcanum, 5th level warlock or higher. Here we go. This is where the high level spells have disappeared to for the warlock. Your explorations of the arcane have unlocked magic within you. Choose one spell from the arcane spell list that has a level of which you qualify, as shown on the Mystic Arcanum table. Look at your warlock level on the table and see the maximum level that the spell can have. You can cast the chosen spell once without spending a spell slot, and you must finish a long rest before you can do so again. Repeatable. You can take this invocation more than once. Each time you do so, the spell you gain must be of a different level from any other spell you've chosen for this invocation. Mystic Arcanum. So Warlock level 5 to 6, you can get a 3rd level spell. 7 to 8, 4th level spell. 9th to 10th level, you get a 5th level spell. 11th to 12th level, get a 6th level spell. 13th to 14th, 7th level spell. 15th to 16th, 8th level spell. 17th plus 9th level spell. And that's how you get your spell slots. So you can grab Invocation at 5th level, or higher, get a 3rd level spell going, even though you've only got 1st and 2nd level spell slots. You can get one basically Arcanum 3rd level spell, and then similar story 4th, 5th, etc. And you get the high level ones. So that's how they can keep up, and you can swap them out. So when you eventually get 3rd level spells regularly, you can then swap out that 3rd level Invocation and then maybe a high level one or what have you as you go. So that's how they're kind of doing those spell slots there, and trying. So even though they've got the spell progression of a half caster, they can actually get a bunch of spells at the same levels as other full casters, but only through Invocation. So it's quite restricted to being that one spell you picked with your Invocation, and that's it. So yeah, that's how they're doing it. Not sure about that. It's interesting though. It's interesting. Anyway, let's keep going through invocations. When you are in an area of dim light or darkness, so it's one with shadows, with the Warlock or high ability, you can use your action to make have the invisible condition until you move or take an action as a bonus action or a reaction. I don't know if I love that wording that we're using a lot here when they go, you had the invisible condition, they had the prone condition, blah blah blah. Like, you just go, you go invisible, or you knock them prone. Why they're using this kind of very rigid language? People confused otherwise? I don't understand. It's like, they rip out some flavor there for this very rigid, the invisible condition, the prone condition. They're all about. Very strange. Anyway. Otherworldly Leap, 9th level Warlock or higher, you can cast Jump on yourself without spending a spell slot or using material components. At 9th level, a level 1 spell. Moving on. Repelling Blast, perks at 9th, none. Whenever you hit a creature that is large or smaller, with Eldritch Blast, you can push that creature horizontally up to 10 feet straight away from you. Sad. They kept it, so the creatures be large or smaller. Previously, it was no size restriction. You could push a gargantuan creature, a cliff, or whatever with Eldritch Blast. But no longer. This is not kept, once a turn or anything. You can push them lots with each beam. Pew 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 with your Eldritch Blast. But yeah. Now got a size cap. Giants are now immune. Visions of Distant Realms. Particular Warlock or higher required there. You can cast Arcane Eye without spending a spell slot. Okay. Whispers of the Grave. 9th level Warlock or higher. You can cast Speak with Dead without spending a spell slot. Witch Sight, perks at 15th level. Warlock or higher, you have True Sight with a range of 30 feet. And that's it. Invocations here. So things like, like Otherworldly Leap, 9th level required, get the jump spell. Hold on, this is one spell. I'm getting invocations that give me, I guess it's only a single cast or whatever. 3rd level spells at 1st level. 4th and, by 9th level it's 4th and 5th level spells. Why is there such a restriction on a 9th level spell? I guess it's, you can cast it more than once? Okay. Who's casting jump more than once? I don't know. I thought it was just as copy pasted in from the old PHB and didn't really rethink about that. Anyway, Fiend Patrons. This is the subclass we get here. So, for patron spells, the magic of your otherworldly patron grants you the following benefits. Prepared spells. You always have the certain spells ready. When you reach a Warlock level specified in the Fiend spells table, you thereafter always have lists of spells prepared. Which is a huge step up. Before, it's just, you have the option to prepare them if you like. But you still need to use your precious limited prepared spell choices to pick these. So no longer, you actually just got them out of the gate, which is awesome. Because like, people like Paladins and things just already had this from the out of the gate. I don't know why Warlocks were randomly restricted on that. It seems a bit mean to Warlocks. Free casting. You can cast one of your prepared spells from this feature without spending a spell slot. You must finish a long rest before you use the benefit again. So yay, we get a one free cast for these spells. So 3rd level, we get Burning Hands, Command, 5th level, Scorching Ray, Suggestion. 9th level, Fear, Stinking Cloud. 13th level, Blight, Wall of Fire. 17th level, Flame Strike, Insect Plague. That's okay. No amazing winners there. 3rd level, Dark One's Blessing. When you reduce the enemy to 0 hit points for an enemy, or an enemy drops to 0 hit points within 5 feet of you. Yay, because before it was just when you specifically kill it, anyone else? Nah, nothing happens. So this one you get if you're nearby, so if you have a Blade Lock. Perfect. This triggers, which you gain temporary hit points equal to your spellcasting ability modifier plus your Warlock level. Yay! So they'll trigger a lot more often and help you survive in combat more. So if you're trying to go melee with a Warlock. Thanks. Alright. 6th level, Dark One's Own Luck. You can call on your Fiendish Patron to alter fate in your favor. When you make an ability check or a saving throw, you can use this feature to add a d10 to your roll. You can do so after seeing the initial roll, but before any of the roll's effects occur. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your spellcasting ability modifier minimum once, and you regain all uses when you finish a long rest. Cool. So it's got a bump there. I think it was still d10, and I think it was like once a short rest or something. Now you just got a whole bunch of uses of it. Spellcasting ability modifier for a long rest. Makes sense. They're really getting rid of short rests quite a bit in this rule set here. 10th level, Fiendish Resilience. Channeling the preternatural resilience of fiends, you can choose one damage type. Other than Force, whenever you finish short rest or long rest, you gain resistance to that damage type until you choose a different one with this feature. So slashing, bludgeoning, and piercing seem like good choices there. Okay. 14th level, Pill Through Hell. When you hit a creature with an attack roll, you can use this feature to instantly transport the target through the lower planes. The creature disappears and hurtles through a nightmare landscape. No save or anything, just off you pop. And in your next turn, the target returns to the space it previously occupied, or the nearest unoccupied space. If the target is not a fiend, it must make a wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC upon its return. On a failed save, the target takes 10d10 psychic damage. On a successful save, it takes half as much damage. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest, unless you expend a spell slot of at least 4th level. When you use it again, you can use this feature only once per a turn. So yeah. So you can spend spell slots to keep using Hurl Through Hell, which is pretty good. No save, off you pop. They use a turn. When they come back, they might be frightened and take much damage. That's pretty good. And that's Fiend, Pact, Warlock. Definitely overall, big bump for the Fiend Pact. Dark One's Blessing now triggering when you're nearby as well. Very helpful. It's very annoying when your party members kill the enemy, so you can get your heals off. Prepared spells are actually, ready to go. You can cast one for free. Yay. Warlocks are very limited in what spells I can prepare. Yeah. Perfect. Good little subclass there. So yeah, so overall you get 2 invocations from level 2 to 4, then from 5th level you get your 3rd one, 7th level you get your 4th one, 9th level you get your 5th one, 11th level 6th one, 13th level you get 7th one, 15th level 8th invocation, and 17th level you get 9th invocation. So you get more invocations overall, and you got that free one you get that you set to get at the start from your pack boon. So that I'll give you get your and a lot of those will go to the Mystic Arcaniums to get the high level spells. So 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, get your half casting going down. So yeah, overall, even though you lost your short rest pack slots, I guess technically with Mystic Arcanum you kinda need more spells because you don't normally have a short rest multiple times a day anyway. Lucky to get one in. So yeah, it's an interesting one because they really kind of gutted the Warlock and changed stuff a bit. They recently released a video where they talked about some of the changes on the D&D YouTube channel. Jeremy Crawford went through and said they're trying this out as an experiment, so don't panic too much. They said they might try other options too. Like he mentioned, rather than making them a half caster, making like a 3/4 caster. So no doubt you lose some invocations here, and have more of that just built in to spell slots coming through, which I think will make more sense, I think. Because rather than kind of hiding the spell level progression in Mystic Arcanums, you could just pull them out and just have it just built in. Like, you just get your spell slots like a normal person, normal class, as opposed to hiding them with these optional Mystic Arcanum features that aren't really optional, are they? You gotta take some of those. There's not enough non-good Mystic Arcanums, Eldritch Invocation options to pick. So yeah. So sacrifice a little bit more this Warlock's modularness to have more spell slots in there. That might be the way, the balance they need there, potentially. They took this a little too far. Just wind it back a little bit. That's probably the go there. Anyway, that's the Warlock. Interesting. Big changes. Probably the class of the biggest changes overall so far. Yeah, not necessarily always a critical caster. Could be wisdom or intelligence. Yeah, pack slots, short rest pack slots are gone. Wow. What do you think, Warlock? I think there's potential here. I think it still needs some refinement. Yeah, I'm interested to see the 3/4 caster option. That might be more Warlocky. I feel like yeah, losing losing forecasting. I mean, they kind of still get invocation with Arcanums early on, but it's very limited. You enjoy your 1 3rd level spell a day at 5th level, that sort of thing. It's very restrictive. So yeah, it's an interesting one. Oh well, that's the Warlock. Join me next time when we go over the Wizard, the final class in this playtest packet. This 50-page document that we worked our way through. Oh my goodness. I don't know why they're releasing so much in one hit. You spread it out a little bit. It's a lot of work to go through all this. Man, oh man. All right. Please like and subscribe. I'm Brad Thompson. This is me, Cutting Words. Catch you around. See ya.